Swoops out to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run. Makes the play. Oh. And flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter.
Pass time. Throws to the back of the end zone. And it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
This is the Personal Foul Podcast. I'm your host, Colton. Guess I got a special show for you this week. Talking some baseball with Julian Guilarte. I like this stuff during when he was posting during spring training, when spring training was a thing, when he was down in Tampa and all that with the owner meetings, this and that and the other. I loved what he had to produce, so I wanted to reach out to him. Would have had him on a long time ago because baseball should have been going on, but coronavirus had other plans. But here we are. Julian, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I also want to say follow Grunt Talks MLB, GTSports Talk 2. It's 1S, so those are the two things, our platforms basically. And I was just going to say, this has been a crazy time, man. Like, I feel like that was last year, that spring training stuff. It was so long ago. And it's so surreal because I was just in Tampa again for my friend's bachelor party. It brought back so many memories, but it's so wild. It really feels like last year. It feels like it's been so long, this whole quarantine. Now we're going to go through again. I feel like we're a hamster spinning on the wheel, just going through this again. But this time we're going to be at Yankee Stadium. Now there's only 60 games because everything that happened with the negotiations, which were an absolute mess. I know you agree with that. And now we have all these guidelines, all this crazy stuff. You can't even have sunflower seeds no more, no tap-ups, no arguments with umpires, nothing. Like, it's really going to be clean. But it's crazy, man. Like, this is something like we've never seen before. We're going to have a 60-game season, 66 days, and I'm ready for it because I want baseball, and I've been starving for it for months. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we've been starving for months, and we're going to get into that as you talked on. We've had very, very similar opinions on the matter that the MLB botched this whole entire thing. So I wanted to hear your take on it because, man, oh, man, I was talking to the fan this week and weeks prior when baseball was the talk, and I've honestly had enough of the baseball talk. I've honestly had enough when they were talking about, oh, we got a deal possibly this day, this day, this day. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks after. It's like, all right, now we finally got a deal. I'm tired of it. I was tired of baseball teasing everyone, oh, we're going to get a deal done here. We're going to get a deal done here. No, they didn't. Baseball dragged this out. I had people that I know that didn't watch NASCAR that are now into NASCAR and a fan of it because NASCAR is banging out races, putting content out, where MLB is losing its fan base. It's a lot of older people that are still into baseball, America's pastime, this, that, and the other with baseball. I still love baseball. I feel like people in New York, Boston, those areas, LA that have good baseball teams, they do have a younger fan base because they're growing up with good teams. But all these other places, Arizona, Baltimore, Tampa has no fans. Where they need to move. We'll get into that later on.
Because I can tell you all about that. I know that area really well.
Absolutely. But just I think baseball had a great opportunity here to get fans. They could have hit a home run here and gotten a ton of new fans into the sport of baseball, which they have not had in a very long time, and they blew it. So I want to hear your take because I just gave you a little spiel of mine. What do you think what the MLB did here and why they messed this whole thing up?
I mean, look, it's just two sides that were stubborn and stuck in their clauses. I think that the owners are at fault, and you probably know that by looking at my tweets mainly. I mean, I thought the players should have accepted the last deal for 60 and the full pro rates because it wasn't going to get better. Now we don't get expansive playoffs, which I'm okay with. I thought the expansive playoffs was kind of whatever to me. I'm happy with the universal DH. I really like that. But, yeah, man, I mean, the owners didn't want to pay the players. That's what it comes down to here. And we have several teams that didn't want to play. You look at Oakland, you look at Tampa Bay, you look at Baltimore, Pittsburgh, maybe even Detroit, the Rockies, Diamondbacks. Those are a couple that come off my head quickly that had no interest in playing this season most likely because it was reported 6 to 8 owners didn't want to play, maybe even more than 8. And just based off markets and salary and, like, what's been going on with revenues, those are the teams I would guess that really want to know part of this season. But it's really messed up to me. Like, if you don't want to play, sell the team.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all part of the business of playing baseball and getting products out there for the fans. I get baseball with no cap space, so teams are able to go out and go bonkers for free agents. The big market teams are going to stay really, really good. But at the same time, you got to figure Arizona was pretty decent a few years ago. Arizona was in the conversation.
And they actually started to make strides this year, too, and Bumgarner's with them now. But we have the news that is very relevant right now in our conversation. Their starting pitcher, Mike Leake, is opted out of the season. He was going to be their third starter. He's not playing because of the virus. He's like, there's concerns with his family, I think, or health or something. Like he's not doing it, and I understand. How much more do you think this is going to happen? You think this is going to be frequent, or do you think he's going to be a rare case?
It could be frequent. You saw guys in the NBA doing it. Avery Bradley, for example. I'm a Lakers fan with the Lakers. Avery Bradley's a part of a championship team. It's not like he played for the Magic or the Wizards that are going to be bounced out in the first round. So at the same time, no, he's part of the Diamondbacks who probably aren't going to be in the big picture conversation at the end of the season in the 60 games. But it could be a bigger problem. You could see this more often, especially with spikes going on all over the place. You could see more players opt out.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to see. Like, I dropped a tweet. Someone asked me, is there going to be more coming? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, I haven't heard anything else, but we'll see what happens because we're going to find out soon because these guys got to report. I know pitchers and catchers, I believe, are the first. For Yankees, I believe our whole team's going to be at the stadium on the 3rd based off what Brian Hoke wrote yesterday. So I'm looking forward to that. I think all our guys will be in, I would assume. So there's actually, even people thought Cole might not play, but I heard the baby's supposed to be born in a few days, so I'm pretty sure it'll be good to go. If he's late to spring training, whatever, just get him ready for the first game. We'll be good.
Get him ready. Oh, my goodness. How happy was I? We'll get into Garrett Cole here in a little bit.
Oh, man.
But, man.
It's crazy how much we've had to wait. It's been a tease for almost a full year now.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll get into that in a minute. So do you think overall with the whole MLB thing, do you think they botched this? Because like I just said before, I think they botched this. It could have taken a home run on this.
They dropped the ball big time, and they made a bunch of errors. I mean, they should have had the season start on July 4th, 82 games. It would have been good. It would have been somewhat realistic at least because you have half the season and bigger sample size, so it wouldn't be as fluky. Like I said, Trevor Plouffe was on the money, actually. They just messed up the negotiations. Like, that was going to happen, the June 10th report and then the July 4th opening day. But they couldn't come to the agreement. The owners kept playing around with the money, and they kept trying to get creative. Like, basically did the same offer, like the same percentage of the player's salary. They just got creative with games and incentives. Like, it kept going around 33, like 35%, and never moved off that. They just tried to get crazy with the wording, and the public reacts to it because they see the wording and they're like, oh, they're getting 80% of their salaries. No, they're not getting 80% of their salaries. They're getting 80% of a reduced salary.
Yeah, people didn't know too much from the outside, and we're all jumping the gun. They were either on the player side or the owner side. Everyone just wanted baseball at the end of the day. They didn't care how the heck it got done. They should have been playing baseball this whole time.
We all agree on that.
Absolutely. They had multiple options of ways to get this done, and they decided to take their sweet old time doing this. Manfred is an awful commissioner. And
oh, my God. I don't want to get me started on him because there's not enough time on his podcast.
No,
absolutely I do not support him at all. Let's just put it that way.
No, he's probably one of the worst commissioners out of the big group.
He's the worst commissioner right now. He's giving Bettman a run for his money, and they've had like 2 or 3 lockouts under Bettman.
Absolutely. But we'll get into another hot topic here. MLB having the DH universal this season. That was one of my big reasons calling the fan this week. My big take on baseball is a lot of people talk about it as it is. MLB does not do a good job of showing off their players.
They do a horrible job of marketing, and I want to help, honestly. Like, I'm willing to help them market.
Yeah, you don't see their big players out there. You don't hear anything about Mike Trout, any of these big guys on the social media, anything, any advertisements.
It's also so hard to access certain them. Like, I look for baseball news on Instagram. It's like impossible to find. Like, the only place I find baseball news is Twitter. If like I Google it, like they don't make their stuff accessible. The only problem with Trout is that he's not very marketable. His personality isn't really there. I think he doesn't really want the spotlight, and he plays in Anaheim. So there's 2 things working against him, unfortunately. But they still have to do a better job with their other guys, and he is very important. But I think he just doesn't fit the bill, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not even that, though. You don't even have to have these guys, like, doing these fake interviews and this and that and the other to have them, like, oh, here's Mike Trout. I'm going to do something fake with Mike Trout. That's not Mike Trout personality, like, but just showing their talent, just like, wow, oohs and ahs, like, just Nolan Arenado. That man is a fantastic player to watch play baseball at third base for the Rockies.
And he's crippling the Rockies financially, too.
Yeah, you never would hear about Nolan Arenado because he's in Colorado with the Rockies. Not a big market like New York.
I like him a lot, too. That's a good example.
For sure. And the problem is not even – they just have to put their players out there. Put little clips. Put them all on social media, man. Make Instagram big. You got to figure out a lot of the young people are on Instagram.
Yeah, let the fans access it. Use Snapchat more. Like, make the highlights easier for us to grab. Like, I got to go on YouTube and, like, screen record stuff half the time. Although MLB has something right now that you can actually look at the last 2 years' games, I think, for free. So that's a cool thing. And I could definitely grab some highlights from there. But, yeah, they just don't make it easy.
No, absolutely not. And I
want to help. Like, I want to help them. Like, I'd love to help them.
Nah, for sure, man. They definitely have to do a better job. And this is like what I called with the fan this week. I said they do a very bad job of showing their fans off, their players, and they could easily switch it if you just allow the DH to be universal. Imagine being a Mets fan. I don't go to many Yankees games. I haven't seen Aaron Judge play, whether his injuries and just sitting out of the lineup for the night. But I've gone to many Yankees games. I still have yet to see Aaron Judge play because he's been hurt or he's just having a night off. Figure that American League does have the DH, which is great. But imagine going and seeing the Mets play, and you're from somewhere out of the state or you're not able to go see the Mets play every single night, this, that, and the other. And Pete Alonso has the night off. That is their big star. If you just had a DH, bingo, bango, Django, Pete Alonso's in the lineup.
You made a great example. The Mets really benefit from the DH because they can now use Cespedes and J.D. Davis in there because they don't really have positions in the field as much, but they're both great hitters. And Cespedes was a good fielder before all the injuries. I don't even know if he can move anymore. But if he has any shot of bouncing back, he'll be in the DH hole. And I still think he can. I believe in him, but we'll see. And I also think the universal DH is really going to help the Reds. I think they're a very underrated team that people are sleeping on.
Yeah, it's going to help a lot of teams, and it's overall better for baseball. If fans want to go out and see, like you just said.
I don't want to see pitchers hit. I don't need to see pitchers run the bases.
No, and it's hurt our Yankees. Figure Tanaka recently, Chi-Ming won his career because of running.
But it's strategy, though. It's good strategy. We want to see the double switching. I hate Liam. That's what they say. That's the counter argument. It's the strategy. Come on,
I don't need a strategy. I don't need a strategy. I don't need it.
I don't need it either. I want to watch baseball. I don't need to watch a chess match.
I don't. Exactly. It's the game's long as it is, so I don't need my pitcher running the bases, getting hurt on the bases.
We had it happen with Tanaka. I watched this game, actually. I was at Citi Field. It was a big duel with Tanaka and DeGrom 2 years ago now. And it was like 0-0 or something in the sixth, and Tanaka gets hurt running the bases like at second or something, and the limp's off. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then you have Chi-Ming Wang's career get ruined because he at home plate, he like twisted his ankle or something. He was never the same. So yeah, I'm really over the whole pitchers thing because it's not right for the American League guys because they're not used to doing it, and then it puts them in an awkward spot.
For sure, it's not a good look for baseball having these guys do it. I get it; it's exciting. Seeing Bartolo Colon hit a dinger.
Well,
how often does that happen?
That's an exception. Like some pitchers can rake. Like there's some athletes out there. I'm not saying they all can't hit, but it's like a small percentage, like less than 10.
There's not many of them, and you got to figure a lot of these kids growing up right now, and the young players that are playing baseball, the pitchers aren't hitting. They're DHing. So what are you going to do once they get to the big leagues? Oh, you're going to have these guys that haven't hit from the age of 10 to 20. And you're going to toss them in a major league game with MLB talent pitching, and what are we going to do? Same result that it's been. Strikeout, maybe a bunt. It's not worth it for baseball. You need more excitement.
Yeah,
and this is a way to get your stars in the game. Imagine having Mike Piazza hitting every single night.
Like the National League teams are going to be better. Like the Cardinals can have Matt Carpenter play DH now and use someone else that's better defensively. Like there's a lot of good benefits to this. The Dodgers can play Pollock and Peterson together now. Like the offenses are going to explode this year, hopefully, and the MLB needs that.
It's just more excitement for the game, Julian.
Yeah, we need more runs, not less runs. Like pitchers' duels are fun. Like I want to see Cole and DeGrom battle it out in a 2-1 or 1-0 game. That's fun. But like most times we want to see runs.
And it's good for the game. It gets the younger people into like seeing these guys, seeing the stars every single night, which would be great for baseball. I don't know why it's taken this long. Like, oh wait, yeah, this would be a good idea. And it's not even that. It's set in stone.
I really hope it sticks. No, the universal sticks, except for this season. But I guess after that, you're saying.
No, right? Yeah, after the season.
Yeah, because they messed up the agreement. If they had the agreement, I think it would have been 2 seasons of it for sure, and we would have had expanded playoffs too. What do you think about that, the expansive playoffs?
Well, for this season, and we'll figure the NFL just did it. I guess it's
they're not doing it this year.
Well, no, not this year. I'm just saying overall, the NFL's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just more games to be played. But at the same time, I don't like it because – especially for football.
It down, yeah. Well, baseball's different, man. Like, it's like, the good teams for the most part, but when anyone's in it, they can get hot. That's the thing. I would like expanding to 12. That wouldn't be too bad, but I wasn't in favor of 16's way too many. That's way too much. Like, you're going to have 80-win teams scraping the door.
Scraping in, and it's not worth wasting the time.
We don't need to see that, really. Like, no one wants to see that.
No, it's not worth having those teams come in that don't deserve to be in it.
No, not at all. I agree. So what do you think is going to happen this year? You have some fun playoff picks? I have a few interesting ones in the short season.
I haven't looked that much into it. I think you're going to have those big teams at the end. I'm very happy Boston's going to be a disgrace this season. I'm very happy with that.
They're going to be so bad the 60 games won't even give them a chance.
Now, you know who could help out, though? The Mets. The Mets can have a benefit from this short season.
Yeah, they could because they get hot a lot, and if they can ride that a little bit. They can get a spot, and their pitching's good enough even without Syndergaard. It's really going to depend on Marcus Stroman. He's got to be money for them this year because they need someone to back up DeGrom. If Stroman doesn't have it, they won't go anywhere.
No, for sure they're going to need that other arm with Syndergaard out for the season. But what do you also think about guys jumping the gun and getting surgeries beforehand, before the season started?
Like Sevy, Sale, and Syndergaard?
Yes. Also, didn't Chris Archer get a procedure done?
Yeah, he did too.
So a lot of guys getting procedures done.
I think it's actually smart because they're ahead of the game now, and they'll be back quicker.
Shorter season, so you don't have to worry about, any losing much pay.
Yeah, so they got lucky with that, and that's good for them. But I think it was good. Yeah, so just to wrap up the whole DH talk, I think baseball needs to I'm with you in the DH. I've always wanted. It's good.
It has to stick. It has to stick.
Mm-hmm.
It would be good for the game. Get younger fans in with more excitement, seeing the stars every single night. Fans going to the ballpark knowing, all right, Aaron Judge might not be in the field tonight, or Yoenis Cespedes might not be in the field tonight.
It's also going to extend careers, too. Think about all the National League careers you're going to extend for the guys that couldn't play anymore because they didn't have a position or they had to switch to the American League. You're going to have 15 new spots, basically. Like, each team's going to have a new spot that didn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the pitchers either because that's not getting affected. Like, the pitchers are still going to pitch. They just won't need to hit, thankfully.
Yes, and you're not going to have them getting freaky injuries. So it's like a win-win for everyone. I don't know why this is taking so long to figure out, you know what?
Because it's baseball. It's baseball, and they don't want to change unless it's pace of play. It's all Lampert's worried about.
Well, changes are good. Yeah, I know. We're seeing it in a lot of other sports. Changes are good. Baseball needs to wake up, or they're going to lose, or they're going to fall way behind. NBA is going to take over, which I already think it is. NBA is going to take over ahead of MLB.
NBA might be past them, unfortunately.
I think it is.
They're in danger with hockey, too, because hockey's doing well, and they figured their stuff out smoothly, too. And now baseball only gets 1 week in the spotlight. Like we were talking about before, you could have had a full month being the only major sport, basically. Now you get a week. And then you're going to have the hockey playoffs. Then you're going to have Lakers-Clippers opening up. And then you're mixed in with everything else again.
Yeah, they're going to fall right underneath again. And no offense, people are going to be like, you know what, you guys wasted this whole time messing around trying to get baseball going. All these other sports figured it out. I'm going to go watch the NBA over MLB baseball until maybe it gets
It's a bad look, and I've seen it in my mentions a lot, too, even from baseball fans. They're like, I don't need this. I'm going to do hockey and basketball, and I'll do football when it comes back. I'm like, well, all right, I'll still be here, but I get it.
Oh, I'll still be watching baseball for sure, but we'll get into our
Yankees.
Let's get into our Yankees here. Something positive to talk about because, my Lord, finally, we got an ace, Garrett Cole, in town. I've been waiting for this. This is why I'm also pissed off with baseball for waiting this long because I want to see this man in pinstripes. But Garrett Cole in New York, and also with this coronavirus, James Paxton coming back, Aaron Hicks. It's actually played to the Yankees' favor with this whole coronavirus.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're loaded now, and Stanton's good now 100%. Judge is up in the air, but it looks like he might be ready in time for opening day. Don't quote me on it, but I'm starting to get a good feeling that he'll be ready in time because he has started swinging again finally after this whole thing with not swinging. That was a huge story. He's been swinging for like a week and a half now, maybe I would say, because the story came out a few days ago. He swung like a week ago, and now he even said today he's been taking his hacks too. So we'll see. Hopefully he's ready. I don't think they should rush it. Like if he misses a few games, fine, but we need him for like a good amount of it, obviously. He should be good to go, but got to be careful, too. He's too fragile, unfortunately.
Yeah, no need to rush him back. And don't even get me started on Stan. That was the worst mistake I think the Yankees did trading for him.
Yeah,
he's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah,
right now. He has not won me over.
Yeah, I get it. I support him too, but it's tough to support him right now, especially after last year. He basically broke down like a cheat. He basically was like a voodoo doll. Basically, like everything was wrong with him. But I think this is actually a perfect setting for him if he can stay healthy. Big F, obviously. I can see him getting 20 to 25 homers in the short season, getting hot because he likes to hit in the summer. He's familiar with the NL East teams. I think a lot of stuff's playing in his favor this year. He's going to have a ton of protection in his lineup because it's so deep. I think he's going to be motivated to prove everyone wrong. He knows what's up. He's got to help us win this year. Even with the shortened season, the pressure is still on him for sure.
All I want is for this man just to hit in the postseason. I just remember sitting at a campground watching this man struggle against the Red Sox in the ALCS, and I just wanted to punch the TV. He was so aggravating to watch. You knew what he was doing. You knew what he was doing every time he was up. You knew he was striking out all the big spots, and guess who was up? Was Stanton, and he blew every opportunity.
Sliders blowing away. Last postseason, he actually did play better, and we won every game he was in. And, of course, as soon as he goes out, we start losing. But, yeah, we got to see a consistent postseason from front to back from him. We really do, especially for all the money we're paying him.
Absolutely. Then you got the young gun in Gleyber Torres. My Lord, I'm wearing a shirt right now while we're doing the show. I love me some Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, I'm excited for him too. A lot of people are overreacting, I think, to the shortstop thing. Like, people are getting too nervous about that. I really think he's going to be fine over there. He's made a few mental errors, but he's only 23. People got to get that. They're like, oh, I don't think he can handle short. We're going to be in trouble at short with Gleyber. I'm like, no, we're not. Everyone relax.
No, he's going to get it. He's young. He could play there. It's not even a question.
Like, is he going to make a few errors? Is he the best defender? No, but he'll be good enough to get the job done for sure. I'm not too worried.
His bat will make up for that. Trust me.
Well, yeah, that too. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, he was on the verge of – he could have hit 40 home runs this year. We had a full season. I really believe that.
Especially with the Orioles.
Yeah, he could have got like 15 and get 10 to 15 against them real quick.
You know what?
Good news is we still got 10 games against the Orioles. So
darn right.
Yes.
Darn right we do.
Him and Gary Sanchez is going to go off.
Don't even get me on Sanchez either. That guy's a joke, too, in the postseason. But going on to another player who was a stud last year, one of the best free agent acquisitions for Cashman, DJ LeMahieu. Do you think he does it again this season?
It's tough to say now because it's 60 games. Like, it's tough. I mean, yeah, why not? Let's go for it again. I could see him hitting like 350, honestly, in the shortened season. That's how good he is. If he can pick up where he left off last year, he's going to push. He's going to have a really high average and maybe even be in the MVP discussion like he was last year. Who knows? But I don't know if he'll be as good. It's just tough to say with the amount of games. But I believe in him. And I'm also worried about the future with him, too. We got to lock him up long term. And the offseason's going to be weird this year because everyone lost money. So I don't know what the contracts are going to look like. But the Yankees got to make sure they secure LeMahieu.
Yeah, LeMahieu.
Unless they get Lindor. Unless they got their eyes on Lindor. And
no. Sorry, I'm taking DJ LeMahieu. No.
Over Lindor?
Yes, I'm taking DJ LeMahieu.
Wow.
I'm tired of the big bats in New York. You're saying with Stanton. I don't need that. I'd rather a guy like LeMahieu, quiet, does the dirty work, great in the field, and he can hit the ball. He can hit it out of the park, and he hits the baseball. I don't need a guy to hit dingers. You have enough of that in the lineup. They have enough of that in the lineup with Sanchez, Judge, Stanton. I don't need it. I need a guy. Oh, and Sanchez, if I didn't say Sanchez. I think I did. I don't need the home run guys in the lineup. I need guys like LeMahieu in the lineup that can hit the baseball.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Lindor's a little different, though, but I get it. I understand. I mean, DJ is a perfect Yankee. It would be tough to watch him go.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult to watch him go if he has another great season hitting the ball.
I mean, Lindor only struck out 98 times last year for reference. He's not really a high strikeout guy.
I just don't need it. I don't need it. I'd rather put money into pitching. I don't need another big name in New York. I don't need it. They already had plenty. They're going to have to lock up guys in the future anyway. You just touched on. If you're that big on Sanchez, you're going to have to lock up Sanchez. You're going to have to lock up Gleyber. You're going to have to lock up Judge. Where's all this money coming from? Unless you're making decisions down the road where you're letting these guys walk.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I like to play around with them, but it's not my money.
And Tanaka. You're not going to let Tanaka walk.
Tanaka is going to come back cheap, I hear. So we'll see if that actually happens. I heard
I would love it. I'd love it. I don't see it, though.
I mean, we'll see. And then Paxton, I'm worried about losing Paxton because I don't know if we can get back all three of the free agents or three notable ones. I love Paxton, though. I think he's a great pickup. I mean, last year in that playoff game, he really showed up with our backs against the wall. And I think him and Cole are going to be filthy. And then you have Tanaka. That top three in the playoffs is going to be like no other. We haven't had anything like that. I don't even know how long. Like we're talking
very, very long time.
Like 2000 maybe, like 98. I don't even know.
It's been a very long time since we've had pitching like this in the starting rotation. Is there any word on – I know they were talking about it this week also.
2001, I think we had Clemens, Moose, and Pettit. That's pretty good.
That is it's not pretty good. That's very good.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any word on Domingo Germán? And that's been a talk this week. Yeah. What's going on with these games with the shortened season? How's that working for Germán?
Okay, I've heard about this a lot. At first I got it wrong, but I figured it out. So I know he's screwed. This season he's done no matter what, the regular season. I've heard two different things with this now. I heard that he can get the 3 games in the playoffs and come back, but I don't think that's true. I think it's that he's done for the postseason, and next year he'll be back.
Woof.
I think he's just done this. I think he's just done this year.
Yeah, that's a big hurt. That's a big mistake that he made, and it's going to cost the Yanks. I would imagine that rotation with Germán in there.
He would have been back in the 4 or 5 spot, maybe.
Yeah, who would have thought a guy with that many wins?
I'm really excited for Jordan Montgomery, though. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I'd like to see a healthy Jordan Montgomery in the rotation this year.
He was pitching well in spring, man. He was getting up to 94, 95. He's looking real good. And Jay Happ actually looks much better, too. I think you're going to get a bounce back from Jay Happ.
Well, he's going to be kind of protected this season. You're not going to need him to be out there dominant. He's going to be back in the rotation with those top guns up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be the 4. Monty's going to be the 5.
So – but, what do you expect from the Yanks this year? Is it a World Series this season? Do you see Yanks, Dodgers? What do you expect?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, that's the standard answer, but I can't deviate from it. I've been rocking with it. It's the paper answer, but I think it's the one that's meant to be. It has to be. And I think baseball needs it, honestly, to recover from all this mess. Because Yankees-Dodgers would be the best way to end the season. After everything that's happened, they would get amazing ratings. We get the East to West. Everyone will watch that. Even if you're not a baseball fan, I bet you they'd be watching that. It's like box office stuff. You got old rivalries. You got star power on both sides. You got Cole. You got Bueller, Bellinger, Betts, Judge, all Stanton, DJ, Torres. Like then you have Muncy, all these people. Kershaw still trying to get that monkey off his back. The bullpens are pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of stories there. Both teams are all in to win now. Like there's a lot of pressure on both sides.
For sure, there's pressure on both sides. To wrap this up, actually, I just had a comment come to my head here. Miguel Andujar, where does he end up this season?
This is a great question, and I don't know if you caught me asking Curry this because we actually did talk about this. And he told me that he thought he would get into normal circumstances. He thought like a good number of at-bats would be like 400 for him. And he says that maybe he could rotate a third with Gio for a day or two, maybe left field once in a while, DH. But now with the shortened season – he's going to be tough. I don't know exactly how many games he's going to play, but he'll get in there.
Yeah, I know there was talks about him every other position. I feel like the outfield, first base.
I went down for the left field experiment. It was actually going pretty well. Like I was watching a lot of it, and he was doing decent out there. First base, no, I don't think that's the answer. I'll say that right now. I just don't see that one. I don't even think he's big enough. And the one time he played there, it wasn't good. Also, we have 2 first basemen. I mean, we have a bunch of outfielders, too. And DJ could also play first better than him, too. But it's tough because we need his bat in the lineup, and he helps break out the strikeouts. But he can't really play a position, and it's a shortened season. Do you want a Clint Frazier experiment in left field? I don't know. I mean, it's third base. Gio does such a great job, but he could spell him, like, occasionally. That could work. And then DH him when you can. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a great guy to have in the postseason.
The other thing is, you know how this works with the injuries, right? Like, we don't even have to ask this soon. Like, he'll have a spot. It'll work out for him somehow.
For sure. There's plenty of places.
That's how it always happens. And I really think another Yankee being slept on before we go is Mike Tauchman. You should be paying attention to Tauchman.
Togman had a very good campaign last year.
I don't know where he's going to play either, though, because now there's so many outfielders. But his defense is good. His hitting's very underrated. He's pretty quick. I mean, I'd like to see him get some time.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how the Yankees play the field this season with the shortened season, how they're going to do it. If they're going to, when they play those bad teams, they're going to take those stars, give them nights off.
I think you'll still see rotations, but you can't have quote-unquote punk games anymore because there's only 60 games. Like, you can't be doing that. Like, you better field the best lineup you're capable of fielding. Like, I understand rotations and keeping guys fresh, but you better not be throwing any games away in a 60-game season.
No, it's definitely that's the only good thing about the shortened season. Every game matters, so you're going to see.
It's going to be like no other. Like every game, we're going to be glued to the games like never before because one loss is almost like 3 losses. I think someone did the math. It's like 2.7 losses if you lose one game.
It's crazy. It is a crazy, crazy season we're going to see this season. And Julian, I want to thank you for coming on.
No problem, man. Have a good one. Let me know when it's posted and stuff. I'll share it.
Absolutely. You can follow the podcast, the Personal Foul Podcast, on Twitter at @foul_podcast. You can find the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find it, that's where it's at. You can follow Julian on Twitter at Julian Guilarte1, his podcast at GTSports Talk 2. And that's a wrap.